Good morning, welcome everyone. So glad you could be here, so glad I could be with you here today. It is a spectacular day out, absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, clear, brilliant blue skies. There's a lot of light, very bright out. I've had to kind of darken out the windows here just to get the lighting because it was so bright you almost couldn't see me in the camera. And I got my tomato shirt on that was sent to us. I'm not used to wearing such bright colors, but I like it. It's a pretty shirt. And we got a fun little experiment to do today. So I'm bear with me. I got a few things I want to share with you, and then I've got some questions I want to ask, and I really hope that you will participate in this because I need to do a bit of a test. And I'll explain all that as we go along. I need to prove a theory, or I need to understand something as to my suspicions as to what's going on and how it's working. But so stick with me. I've got a little bit of some questions that I've written up, and it's not much, but I really need some feedback from you to see if my suspicions are true, because the results of this may have a significant impact on how I do some things in the future. So, alright, so last couple of videos I did with you, my friends, and by the way, it is April 12th, Monday morning, 8:25 Central. Happy Cup of Joe morning. I'm still on my coffee, and it's good. So the last couple of videos that I did with you was to do several things. One, it was one way that I could find to finally kind of put it in such simple words and terms what creates the world around us, how these things are created. It was to hopefully help you, all of you, manifest or do a better job manifesting what it is that you want. And I use a lot of the examples of our interaction. So that because let me back up. Pardon me. Let me back up. I started doing videos with you folks, or for you folks, all of you who are watching this, somewhere back in 2000 and late 14, early 15, somewhere in that neighborhood, and it was out of a frustration, out of experiencing something I didn't like to experience, and knowing what I want to experience and seeing something. So the very reason I did the videos is the function behind why I started doing videos, because way back when, in 2010 and 11, when I saw what was going on there, I knew at that point in time the real likelihood of where we were going. Of course, my concepts and understandings of how fast and how and all that, well, that's kind of morphed and changed. And in the last 10 plus years, I've learned a lot myself, and I've grown a lot myself. And so originally, I knew that this whole system was so fragile and so upside down, full of lies, and unsustainable that the nature of what's gone on, and the nature of what generally happens, in time and history, means that it has to revert, and because the pendulum swing has swung so far to this side, that it's going to swing that much further to the other side of things when the motion and everything switches back. The idea that we can stop that motion midway, or coming back down and stop that motion and push it back and keep over here, it's not possible. The universe doesn't work that way. It doesn't happen that way. We have to go through the cleansing of the crap that we've been dealing with. It has to happen, and it hasn't yet. We've started getting more crap piled on more crap, and it really hasn't started. I mean, there's essences of reset that have kind of begun, but the real thing hasn't happened yet. So what I saw back in 2010 and 11 is that we're going to end up coming down into a much smaller world, back to similar to the way it was. Now, we may very well keep a lot of our technologies and move into some new technologies, but as a human interaction, our globalness of just-in-time delivery system and all those things are going to end. And I saw that, what we needed to do is go back to production on a lower scale basis, local communities and that kind of thing. So that's what I worked on first from 2011 through about 2014. After experiencing those things and realizing the difficulty because of the current mindset of the majority of the population, that we were so divided, that wasn't working as well. And I still wanted to get my message out, so that's when I started putting out videos to as many people as I could. I figured, hey, I wasn't even worried about monetization or anything. The only reason I ever monetized my videos was because I knew it was part of the algorithmic function of the GooTube in putting it in front of people, because if they can make money, they're going to put it out in front of people. And it did. And my channel grew, and it was growing steadily. And some points there were spurts where it would grow really fast. And that was and that was the way things work. And it should have continued to grow. Now, doesn't mean I will retain a lot of those subscribers, because you notice a lot of channels will have huge subscribers, but the percentage of those that actually view the content on a regular basis it's only a percentage. It's not the full amount. You may have 10,000 subscribers, but your view count's probably going to average between 500 and 1,500 views because of those 10. You see where I'm going with that. You see some of these channels that have 3 and 4 and 5 million subscribers, but their views are only going to be a few 100,000 or so, and then you might top out at 1 million or so. You're never going to get that full amount of subscribers, because a lot of those accounts fall off, and or people don't use them anymore. You understand that. So I have learned how this works. I've also been very observant to the changes in how things are working. Ergo, the censorship, the cancel culture, and all that stupid crap that's going on. The massive push that has been through the controlling mechanisms to control narratives, to control the information, to control or slow the awakening of people. All of those things. Okay. So I did the public videos because I recognized that in order for me to really help as many people as I would like to, I needed to do it this way. So I followed the steps that best seemed like the best path in order to do that. Okay, well, things have changed. There's been a lot that has changed. My original channel was taken down, and I have subsequently, in my new channel, continued to see more censorship. I still have some of you that message me. I'm still being unsubscribed, and that kind of thing. There's a litany of things that continue to occur that have brought me to the summation and the conclusion, the supposition. God, I'm finding the word. Basically, when I did those 2 videos, let's just tell you this. When I did those couple of videos, when I do those videos, it is something that comes through me from spirit, from consciousness, from the energy, and it just flows. And I open up and I just let what I've got up in here just come out the best way it can, and it just comes through me. So this is my way of trying to re-verbalize and put into words, through my abilities to communicate, something that might benefit you. And the interesting thing about it is sometimes I don't even realize what I'm saying as I'm saying it. And then I know, because I openly let things go, and sometimes this thought will tie to that thought, and I'll use this as an example, and because, a lot of our interactions are the experiences and what I'm observing and how people behave, so I use that information not as in any form of derogatory towards individuals, because things may work or may not, and it seems like, well, if that didn't work, why are you talking about it, kind of thing. But no, more of to self-reflect and analyze. So when I did that, that video, by the time I got done, I was almost like, well, I wonder if what I wanted to say even got said, because it's like it goes out and then it's gone. And a lot of creators who work this way will tell you the same thing. They have to get what they want to put out done, and done once, and let it flow. If it doesn't work right. Something doesn't match. So what I did was I went back and I listened to my own video. Actually, just the second half, because it was in the second part 2 of the video that I was really kind of, as simply as I could, making some connections to create a picture. And I wanted to see if I had kind of done that. And again, or how should I say this? Sometimes it flows, and it's flowing not just to be shared with you, but it's also flowing because I need to hear it for myself. Because I need to coach myself. So a lot of that, a lot of things that are said have personal reasons too, so that I can hear myself and think through my own thoughts and rehear myself, so that I can self-analyze. So, as much as I know, it is a condition that when you put out a video like this, that a lot of the people who are going to watch it will internalize it and take it upon themselves as either a good or a bad thing, and they, because everybody has this thing called ego, that happens, and you got to be careful with what you put out, because you got to know that a lot of the people are going to like it or dislike it or get upset. There are some creators out there that definitely poke at you or poke at people in generally, because they know they stir the emotion in certain ways, and when they do that, they get lots more views, thumbs up, thumbs down. It doesn't matter. They get lots more interaction, and interaction for interaction's sake is not necessarily conducive to growth of us all. Just stirring people up emotionally does not necessarily help things. Okay, so I had to listen to myself, and I did. And many of you are aware that, because I've stated in my videos, that I'm always looking to see what I can do to improve things, how I like things, what I might change. There's changes that I've done in what I presented. It's not been one consistent format for the last 6-7 years. It hasn't. It's changed in several instances. It's changed in a lot of ways, because we all change, and that's the part of it. That's the way it works. We are all about change. It has been my desire to help you all deal with the change as I am dealing based on my navigation. Hey, I'm over here paddling up the stream, and there's some rough currents up there, and I'm paddling. I'm like going, oh, hey, look, there's a little step down area over here. We can get out at rough current, and we can go around there. So y'all follow me. This might be an easier ride. That's all I'm pretty much doing with techniques and stuff. And I am of the belief that each and every one of you have the capacity to do anything that you want to if you set your mind to it. And I'll say that again, if you set your mind to it. As stated in the last two videos, how do you set your mind to it? By thinking about what you want all the time. Now, and staying focused on doing that. And then taking the action steps when they're needed. Sometimes you got to do action steps. Sometimes in order to have things come in, it requires a lot of work because of the way to do it. I mean, let's take for example my barn out there. For the amount of money that was spent in order to achieve or to get the bandsaw mill, I could have very easily just bought the wood and then cut up the rest of it and just thrown it in the wood pile and had a lot more firewood. I could have very easily done that and had money left over. But I am a creative person, and I always want to collect tools. See, we human beings make these things called tools that make things easier for us to do. And I know many of you have heard me say it on my videos that when you prep, one of the biggest preps you can ever make, when you're strengthening your little kingdom, your little homestead, when you're strengthening that, you want to be able to fix, make, build, do whatever you want on your homestead. That's self-sufficiency. Coffee. So I saw where we're going back to where I saw it in 2010 and 11. That we need to get things back to local production, local abilities to make things and do things. That was going to become a necessity, and having a bandsaw mill and another potential service, because we all, to be a creator, you're serving the greater good of everyone, right? So to be able to have that, it would be a nice new tool, and it's a very powerful tool, especially when you see what's going on, lumber prices and all that good stuff. So I felt like it was an investment, and I still do. But I could have just bought it. There's multiple ways I could have manifested it. But I was looking for the most valuable way to do that. Because, heck, I could have just done like everybody else. Well, I got $7,000. I can go pay somebody to build it for me, and I don't have to do anything. And I can sit here and I can manifest a barn out there, and all I have to have is a little bit of thought and that magical thing called money, and it all happens. Because that's where most of us think, and that's not where we're supposed to be, I don't think, spiritually in this world. So I reflected, and I've spent a few days here since those videos thinking about it, and I want to do a test. And we're going to do a test with you here in just a second with some questions, and it's not very hard ones, and I want you to all, we'll go through the leaving answers and stuff to help me make a determination as to how I proceed moving forward with certain things. So I've had this channel. This channel is, a little over, or right about a year old now, because last year, was it last year? Last year, yeah, I lost my old channel. Because of the censorship, because I still get feedback from you guys that there is forms of censorship. I have a feeling, as in with what I've observed on many other channels that have been taken down, that my channel is in the algorithms that have it under heavy censorship. And that is not conducive to continuing to build things or do things in a positive manner. And here recently, even though I've continued to put out a fairly steady stream of a certain amount of videos, once a week I'll put out 2 or 3 videos. I'll go up, I'll do the videos, I'll go up and I'll post them. The view count has continued to go down, and doing some of the things for those videos in order to make them more YouTube friendly hasn't worked. I have, and it's funny because there's another channel that literally has been stealing some of my titles. Not that mine are like anything super special, but they're the same structured wording that you see in the mind-numbing channels, if any of you've ever seen them, like the most satisfying video on YouTube 2021. That title I put up on my on my bandsaw sharpener because I know that kind of video, the type of video with the things that are going on in the video, and that type of title is the kind of thing that YouTube puts out there and shoves in front of everybody to mind melt them and entertain them. It's very obvious that those techniques and tools and the way that video was put together is what YouTube wants to put out there. Except maybe if there are certain governors put on a channel. And that's what we're going to see if I want to see how that is, the reality of that. We're going to do this test. This is why. So we'll get to the test last, but this is why, because again, I'm at a point in my life where there's some changes that I'm going to do. Now, premise it with this. You get what you think about. When I first started doing videos, I was discussing certain topics that had certain emotional content to it and certain vibrational energy, and I attracted certain kinds of people. Not all of it was good. There was a lot of not good. And it's not what I want to create. What I really want to create is a different kind of scenario, and it requires thinking differently and presenting things differently. And in doing so, it may mean, or I think it's going to mean creating, a new website, and that hasn't really been worked on because I think there's a couple of issues going on. But I'm also thinking a new YouTube channel. And I'm a little unsure of how that YouTube channel should start out. Now, one of the things that I hope to share with all of you was an understanding about universe. And I've tried to explain this to you, a lot of you, in the examples about creating community and people that I've talked to, that I've had some deep conversations and trying to pull people together and thinking about it. And a lot of people say, I want that, but there's this issue out there. And I'm like, but you don't need to worry about that issue. Oh, this is a big issue. I got a really big issue. My mind's wrapped around this issue. It's a problem. And I'll get into the conversations with some of these people, and I love these people because they're you. Many of them are you. And I say, if you understand universe, then, and you understand your own creative abilities, and you understand karma, if you understand these things, then you know, or should know, or surmise, that you can, for all intents and purposes, at any time of your choosing, reinvent yourself. It's one of the things I've learned moving around from city to city, doing a lot of the jobs that I've done, is that you can start over. You can start over anytime you want to. And all that baggage, and we've all talked about that baggage that you got on your back, that you're carrying around about this emotional event and that emotional event, those things can either serve to empower you because you've learned from them, or you can carry them as a burden. So what I've tried to share with as many of you as possible is to get the notion in your head that you can positively change your entire world within 30 days. Ergo, the videos that I did last year in the building of that cabin. I wanted all of you to see that you could change your life within 30 days. Or within one day, you could change it all again. And that happened. I questioned judgments on that because what was available was a brilliant, everything that was requested had been manifested. Everything that was wanted at that time had been manifested. But it required responsibility from that point forth. Once it was manifested, then you have to take care of that manifestation. And we all have to deal with our manifestations. We have to be responsible for our manifestations. What we create, we have to deal with. And we either deal with it in a positive way, or maybe you just change again. How you deal with it is the karma that you carry around with you. We understand that. So that is why I'm thinking deeply about how to make my next change. And this is where I need, I comes in, I need you. And if you've stuck with me this long, oh, I appreciate it. It means you're the diehards, because the average percentage of video that gets viewed is generally pretty low. Not everybody sticks all the way through most discussions. So since we're coming up here on near 30 minutes, good foundation of understanding of why I'm doing this and what it's going to mean for me by the results. The question is this: do I start completely fresh, which means create a new channel, a brand new channel, and try and build it from scratch, which is extraordinarily hard to do unless you have a few skill sets and a few understandings of how YouTube works? Or do I create a new channel and try and migrate everything that I've created with you over to it? Because in doing so, that would trip algorithms. I know how this system works. And I'm still not certain that going to other platforms would necessarily yield me the kind of results I want from my input, my growth input. All right, so different platforms have different core vibrational stuff. Different mindsets of people went to certain platforms for certain reasons. You go to BitChute, and it's a lot of political, economic, and that kind of thing. Not as much homesteading, that kind of thing. And on YouTube, you still have how should I say this? you have you still have the better part of the town square. Even though there's a lot of groups in the town square that have moved off to these other platforms, you still have the bigger part of the population is on YouTube. Okay? So here's the thing. I want to change my focus. I intend to change my focus. I am going to change my focus on what I'm creating because I want to stay, specifically because we're going into some very negative energies. I want to stay as positively focused and not more than at a glance look at what's going on around me, because it's going to be a trap. It will suck you in and it will destroy you. It's going to destroy a lot of people because of their focus. What are you paying attention to? Are you going to get involved in that brawl over there because, you know, that kind of energy draws you in, or is it going to repel you? This is the kind of thing. So I still think YouTube has the potential to serve more people than maybe some of the other platforms for specific reasons. With my focus wanting to be on what I create, ergo a lot of the woodworking products, how do I create, how do I start about going creating? Do I do a complete full sweep and start brand new? In other words, don't even say nothing to any of you about what the new channel is. Just create a new channel, just start posting, and allow universe to bring in what I attract into that. Do I do that, or do I say, because here's the thing, it's hard building this up. And in building up this channel with you guys, you know, you're talking years and years of work. So there is still some value to what I have in this channel, but my concern, again, is what are the algorithmic ties in what ways, and I want to kind of get a feel for it. And I got some simple basic questions I'm going to ask you. I want you to leave some answers in the comments to help me kind of feel out, because I've already got some summations based on what I've been observing. So I'm going to create a new channel. Question is, how do I do it? I'm going to do it on YouTube because I want that channel to be entirely different. And let me give you an example of what I would like to create. There is another channel out there. The woman's name is April Wilkerson. That's her channel name, is her name, April Wilkerson. And she has built a really, really nice channel based on a few things. Some of her building implements I'm not going to use the same way because she uses a sneaky technique. Well, I don't know if you'd call it sneaky, but a technique that has been used in advertising because it sells. And she has the cutest little shorts on. And it doesn't matter what she's building or making, she's almost always got those cute little shorts on. And it's all, you know, I know a lot of guys are into tools and woodworking and in the building and construction, but you cannot deny that sex sells. So I don't know if I'll be able to use that and if I can get as far as she can in that manner. But the type of channel, now here's the important part. I would really, really, really love to have a channel that is sponsored by some of these companies whose products that she talks about. So you go watch her last videos and, you know, well, I'm doing this with such and such brand of this, and I'm doing this with such and such brand of that, and she's had a lot of these things come into her world via the sponsorship of these products. I got a little bit of that before my channel got taken down while things were going pretty good and everything was building. A little bit of the, I almost got there. There were some reviews that I was doing and that kind of thing of products, and that got some attention and, well, didn't work out that way. So my question now is, if this is what I want to create, if this is what I want to do, what is the better way to go about it? How do I change? And that's what I want to find out. I would love to have a channel that I could show off my wood products and it be just about the wood products, that it would be compartmentalized. See, most of what I've done over my last 5, 6, 7 years, since 2015, most of what I've done is try to connect dots to my desire at the time was to go, look at what's happening out there. It's not pretty. Let me offer up some solutions. Let me show you where to go and how to do things that will make it easier for you to navigate that, to take out that counterparty risk. The new channel I really want to do, and what I really want to focus on, is what I can create. Now, I'm not going to use sex as a tool to sell it with, and what gets me is there's other channels that do that, even though they're talking about the geopolitical and you know, I don't like that I see this in our social structure in our society. There's another woman out there that has a channel, and let's see if I can find the words, and she discusses a lot of religious and geopolitical content, and even though her original focus in building that channel was the same thing that I want to acquire back again or focus on, which is a channel about a specific topic, and it was in the medical arena that she was in, and I think you all know, so I'm not trying to degrade her. I'm making an observation that you look at her videos now, and oh, isn't she dolled up, beautiful makeup and lipsticks, hair all done. You see me, I just got out of the shower. I want my content and my videos to be about the content and the videos, not about the shell of this person, but about the knowledge and the ideas. Maybe that doesn't sell as many. Maybe I can only get halfway as much down the road as these other ladies because I don't do that. But I know what I want. I know why I want to create it. The question is, how do I go about that? And that's what I've been focusing on, because at least for a while I'll probably do both channels, but there may be a point in time where I go, you know what, this is it. This is what I want to do. In the new channel, when we're talking about the wood products that I make, it will be solely focused on that, because I don't want to come in there and do a seed gardening video. You know, I don't want to come in there and do an economic or geopolitical, but it will be about the wood products or whatever creation that I want to offer you as the public. So I hope that explains it all. That was a little bit more long-winded than I wanted it to be. So I'm going to ask you to do this. These are 4 simple questions. If you would leave in the comments, because this is going to tell me a whole lot about whether it's viable or worth it to try and initially build my new channel by, giving all of you, hey, come on over, and that kind of thing, or just to start from scratch. Because I have a feeling that there's, and I'll know this when you answer these questions, that there are some algorithmic functions that have been created that do certain things, and what you answer here is going to tell me, so it's going to be very critical that I get as many of you as possible. Like I said, it's 38 minutes in, but this is how we think through things. This is how we change things. So, no further ado. If you would, in the comments below, start a message and answer it. Number 1, you can do it real simple. We'll do this real simple so you don't have to write out a whole lot unless you choose to. And I'll be happy to take your thoughts into consideration. I always do. I read every comment. Number 1, write number 1, just a simple yes or no. Are you or are you not subscribed? Did you hit the subscribe button? Because I do know there are a lot of you who watch these videos that don't have an account and aren't subscribed. You simply do a search for it. Because if you do that, you're not going to be able to comment. And if you can't, if you're not subscribed or you don't have an account, then I'm going to ask you to send me an email. Many of you have my email, and it's in the description of every video. So if you're not subscribed, please send me an email and answer these 4 questions. Are you subscribed? If yes, say yes. Just say yes. Number 2, if you are subscribed, do you have the notification bell set or not? Because a lot of you have made comments, I'm not getting notified. Please tell me if you're getting the notification, if yes or no, if you're getting the notification, give me a yes if you've got the notification bell, or no if you don't. And if you say yes, part B of number 2, say I'm getting them or I'm not getting them. Let me know what's actually happening here. Number 3, question number 3. Are you on my email list right now? Yes or no? And if you're on my email list, are you checking the videos? Are you seeing the videos and choosing to go watch them or not? I need to know what kind of, because let's put it this way. I know how many email addresses I've got. I've got a lot. A lot of you, last year when I said, do you want to be on the email list? I got a lot of emails. Hundreds of emails. Hundreds. It's not thousands, because that's a little bit more, and I'm okay with that. But hundreds of emails. And for the amount of emails that I send out every week, I want to know per view count how many of those emails are really having an effect. How many who are checking their email and so on. So please tell me that in number 3. And number 4 is going to be a multi-part question too, and that's for those of you on Patreon, if you're not on Patreon, you don't have to answer this question. If you are on Patreon, say, yes, I'm on Patreon. Then tell me, because here's the thing, I know there's overlap. I know there's overlap between the emails and some Patreons, because some of my Patreons are already in the email, and I know some of you are getting it double, and I've been told as much. I've had somebody ask me, okay, I'm getting twice. I don't need twice. Take me off of this or whatever. And I understand that. So, if you are on Patreon and you're only going through Patreon to watch my videos, tell me Patreon only. If you're on Patreon and you're watching my videos, but you're getting them either through the notification bell or the email list, and you're doing that, tell me what you're getting it through. So, for number 4, Patreon, say yes for those Patreon subscribers, and I'm getting it through that. And as a matter of fact, for those of you who are not in Patreon, but you are on the email list, that might be a good thing. Go back on number 3 and say, yes, I'm on the email list, but I see your public posts, and I'm just getting the notification bell, but I'm not checking the email, because that's a possible factor there. Possible factor. So those are the main things, and what that's going to tell me is how people are connecting. And I've got a lot of that data. I can go into my analytics, and I can get a lot of this data out through that, but it's not quite the same. And when I get personal feedback from you in the comments telling me your experiences, well, I've done this and I've done that, that really gives me a whole lot better feeling, because it's a direct connection with you as opposed to whatever their computer wants to put into the algorithmic data and stuff. So, my gut feeling is it might not be viable for me to, or it may not be a good idea for me to try and transfer everything that I've done in this channel and try and bring it over into a new channel, because I may bring along with it some of the censorship algos. Okay. It sucks building things from new because it's a lot of damn work. I mean, you've seen what I've done on this homestead. It's a lot of damn work. But some of it is good, hard reconstruction, because when you tear things down or you start from the ground up and you build new, you can, if you're smart enough, build it stronger and better. And we're going into a new world, a new human existence. Things have changed, and things are about ready to, how should I say, pop again. And if everything that I think might happen in the next few weeks happens, well, we're going to live in a different, even more different universe than we did a few months ago. Things are changing that rapidly, and I want to be, I want to cleanse myself of a lot of the negative focus on negative topics and negative issues. And the question is, how do I do it? Do I just pack my bags, move to a new city, and don't say nothing to anybody, and in that kind of manner? You know, I don't know. I need to find that out. I need your help. I appreciate it. I'm not going to just shut this channel off cold turkey. If I ever do close this one down and turn my focus completely on the other one, I'll let you know in advance. I like having the smaller community when it comes to discussing these bigger topics, because not everybody can mentally cope with an in-depth discussion of these emotional topics. This channel, what's left of it, considering the issues, is a good place to do that. So that's why I wanted, you got it. You got it. I think I've gone over it. It's long enough. It's 45 minutes, 46 minutes. And I appreciate all of your input. Thank you all. Thank you all so much for being out there. You know, you are the cream of the crop, in my opinion, of what's going on. And got some messages coming in, so let me go check on that. And we will catch you again soon. Take care. Love y'all. We'll see you next time.